In a world that's constantly changing, you have to move forward to change with it. At Strayer University, we see you striving to work harder and go further. That's why we provide you with the tools you need to get there, like offering a brand new laptop when you enroll in a bachelor's program, so you can do your coursework anytime, anywhere. Because our greatest strength is helping you unlock yours, so you can always keep striving. Visit strayer.edu to learn more. Eligibility rules, restrictions, and exclusions apply. Connect with us for details.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, oh, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey, Bob, what's up, brother?
Hey, Gentry. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you, man. There's definitely a nice place under a tree in the shade in the land of milk and honey for you, because every time you come on this show, I've talked to you a few times, you're always doing something for other people, not doing it for yourself. So it's pretty cool of you, Bob.
It is. It is. I'm really great.
You're awesome, man. You're one of the best of all time, brother.
Well, I try. You know, I was just a kid working out and idolizing Richard Pryor and Rodney Dangerfield, who I got to be friends with at the Comedy Store, and I've been in this business a long time. So, you know, when something happens in your life and you lose someone and you want to help them and you want to help the other people that get it so they shouldn't have this problem, I'm right there, you know. And I do a lot of causes, especially virtually now. A lot of benefits have been. So we have a virtual benefit, and thanks for letting me talk about it very much, Gentry.
Cool Comedy Hot Cuisine. This thing's been going on a while, right? I mean, I've heard of this thing before.
We've been doing it over 30 years, and I started doing it, and Susan Feniger is actually co-hosting this event with me. She's a top chef, 2 Hot Tamales, and she will be co-hosting with me live, actually, on Sunday night, this Sunday the 18th. We usually do live events. Robin Williams was the first person who ever did it live, and then did it 6 times after that. God bless him for being so great. And it's always been comedy-driven, comedians, singers, and I've been booking it or whatever. I just call my friends and say, can you help? And we did such great live events with food and comedy. The last one in L.A., I had on stage at the same time John Mayer and Dave Chappelle and Ken Jeong and John Stamos. And in New York, I had Andy Cohen and Michael Che and John Oliver. And we raised a lot of money. We raised $45 million in the 30 years. But I lost my sister in 94, and a lot of people have been losing people to a disease people don't know about, and it's been around forever, and it's hundreds of thousands of people we're trying to help, and we really are making progress. So we're doing a big event, which will be on Sunday night, this Sunday the 18th. It'll be on YouTube, and you can subscribe to get it at srfcure.org. That's Scleroderma Research Foundation, so that's srfcure.org, and there's a promo code BOB if you want to get a $50 ticket, because we've never had anything like this, so we are able to do that. It's usually, you know, in a big ballroom or something with great performers, and I'm really excited about it because of the performers I've got, and if you let me riff through them, I'll do my.
They're fantastic. I mean, it's A-lister after A-lister. Lay them on us, Bob.
Well, thank you. So, last time someone said lay it on me, my wife and I are actually sleeping in separate bedrooms right now, which is quite frustrating because she went away and saw her family and wants to make sure she's quarantined until she knows that she's safe. And she tested negative yesterday, but she wants to test again. I think she's just holding out.
She won't let you at this point?
I'm going to. As soon as we're done, by the way, I think I'm making my move. I'm going to get to first base.
Get it done, man.
Whatever that is now. I think first base is fourth base now. I don't know. But the performances are Jason Alexander, who lost his stepsister to scleroderma. Jack Black's going to make an appearance. Reggie Brown. Bill Burr, who's going to rip me apart. Kelly Clarkson is singing a song so amazing. Jim Gaffigan, who's lovely, of course. Jeff Garland. Nikki Glazer, who's hilarious. Regina Hall, such a great actress, and her mother has scleroderma. And we fund centers of excellence like UCSF and Stanford, and she went to Johns Hopkins, one of the best scleroderma centers in the United States, and her mother is well now. Her mom is well, which my sister might be alive with the therapies that they have now rather than just injecting you with cortisone and prednisone to treat symptoms. And Ken Jeong is going to make an appearance, and he pretends he's a doctor. And Queen Latifah lost her mom, sadly, 2 years ago, and she made a video for us. And George Lopez, Howie Mandel, John Mayer's going to sing. He's one of my dearest friends, and he's also got an auction item of a signed guitar by him. And Joel McHale is going to rip me apart. It's kind of a roast, I think, because they're all just saying, please cure it, Bob. We can't stand you anymore. And Joel has an auction item where we're going to drink tequila shots, he and I, with someone on Zoom. He just wants to get drunk, and any chance he gets it. Pat Monahan from Train's going to sing. I'm almost done. Ray Romano, Jeff Ross, Sarah Silverman, and John Stamos, who has an auction item where he's going to do story time with Uncle Jesse. And I think it's going to be like, people think it's going to be like Goodnight Moon. He's reading to little kids. But I think it's going to be like a lot of ladies and men just going, read 60 Shades of Grey to me, John. That's what I think.
Stamos, he's still getting a lot of tail, isn't he? He's still looking good. And
well, he does. His wife is the tail, and she is lovely. It's really weird when you talk about your wife like that. But my wife's quite a piece of tail. It's just you can get Me Too'd really quick and canceled. But he is a faithful husband with an adorable little boy. And we also got married around the same time, and I have a wonderful wife who's down the hall because of quarantine. It's really it's a laugh riot. But I've been working on the benefits so much, and Joel Gallen's exec producing it with me, and he's a big music guy, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he produced my roast years ago and all the Comedy Central roasts. He's just an amazing guy. But this is a really cool event because it's around the world, and it's 5:00 on Sunday night. It's 5:00 in Pacific time, and it's 8:00 Eastern time, and 6:00 Mountain time, and 7:00 Central. I don't know. It's also a pre-show a half hour before it, so that'll help people get settled in, so they can get their cocktails or whatever. And really, it's about a 90-minute live show, and it's just going to be, as you know from the list of people I just named, so entertaining. It's pretty great.
I'm looking forward to it this Sunday night. Cool comedy, hot cuisine with our guest, Bob Saget, who also, I'm sure, talks about this on his podcast. He's here for you. And I heard on a recent episode, Bob, that you're claiming pets and dirty jokes is what's helping people through hardship. So I'm curious as to how many pets are in the Saget household?
Well, there was a King Charles Spaniel named Alan. He was named after my dentist, but he passed away. Very sadly, from prostate cancer. So I tried to cure him and took him for things you don't want to do, radiation and chemo, and he was such a sweetheart, but it's not a good idea. I think he had a couple months of happiness through it, but you can't let an animal suffer that you love. I mean, he was like a son to me. And in fact, my ex-wife and I got divorced, and when my kids were young, and Alan just went with whatever kid. He was my son, so 1 week with Dad, 1 week with Mom. And it really was, he was an angel, a true angel. And my dad also had a nose, he had a little bit of cancer on his nose. And of course the joke, I won't tell what it was, but there was an issue. I was asking my dad, if he has it, on his prostate and you have it on your nose, how have you been near the dog, Dad? It's not a good thing. My dad had a sick sense of humor, and so he actually came up with that disgusting premise. But yeah, there's no dogs around. But on the podcast that's out right now, I do talk about how their dirty jokes and pets can really help you through this crazy time that we're living. So
why don't you have any pets? You're not going to replace the dog? You don't want to go through all that heartache again? No dogs?
Well, I think mostly it's because I was traveling so much, and I know that once I would get a dog right now, I'd be gone again. Because once this is over, I'm going to be touring like a banshee all over the country. I had so many dates set up, as we all did, to performers, and I had to cancel them all, and I can't go into movie production on something I'm directing because of this, even though some movies are on, they're in production, but then they shut down for a few weeks here and there. So it's a very difficult time, as we know. In the real world, it's an incredibly difficult time. And, it's not to diminish COVID at all by doing benefits for other patron saint causes. I've done ALS benefits for people, and all virtual, and cancer benefits and Parkinson's, things I care about, And scleroderma, not unlike COVID, it can affect your lungs, where you can get pulmonary hypertension. And people know people who have it, and if they want help, we can help them. It's srfcure.org. And it's just it's my heart goes out to so many people. It's unbelievable how we're all going through this difficult time in many different ways. People are. It's just it's quite. You want to say it's sad and it's tragic, and we don't want to lose any more life, but we also want to help the people that have other problems. There's so many things. We're in whatever we call a perfect storm, right? So it's just a time where I think humor and that podcast I'm doing, Bob Saget's Here For You, I'm laughing with people that are in dire straits,
Yeah, people can actually call you, can't they, Bob? Like, you put your phone number out there?
Yeah, once a week I have an episode where I'm on a couple times a week, and on Mondays usually I have a special guest, and then last Monday I had Dave Coulier, and we say things that no one under 15 should hear. And before that, I had Josh Radnor from How I Met Your Mother, because I was the old Ted voice, and he was the young one. But yeah, I like to call people, and I call a guy, and they look on my Twitter or my Instagram stories. I tell them when I'm going to call, and they leave a message, and then I'll call somebody, and the guy's like stoned out of his mind. So I'm going to talk to this guy a while, and he won't stop laughing. And then he tells me that his mom has COVID, but she's okay, and he's laughing. I'm like, sir, you've got to stop laughing. This is a serious thing. And then he laughs more, because a stoned person, don't tell them not to laugh. It's an interesting, crazy world, and I love the connection with people. And I started doing the podcast before quarantine, so I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it because it felt right. I'd been out doing stand-up and felt a lot of dissension in the audience, and I get a very diverse audience. And I don't want people arguing at the show. I want them to laugh their heads off, because they always say laughter is the best medicine, but that's actually Percocet. But
that's a good one. That's a good one. A 512.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
I think 90 people have done a version of that, but I did one 10 years ago on a show, but somebody must have done it sooner. But it's a common premise, I would think. But the point is, people really do need to escape and laugh, and you're doing that. I mean, you're helping people, you're talking with people. Doesn't it feel good to be able to say,
does.
I talk too much because I'm pitching my benefit because I want people to be part of it, but does it feel good to connect?
It does, for sure. I've always loved that about radio, where you can just be talking into the microphone and be talking to millions of people at once and trying to get everybody on the same page. Hopefully we can get out and go see some shows. Do you believe in your crystal ball that 2021 you will be standing in front of a crowd of faces without masks and people will be laughing at your funny jokes, Bob? Do you believe 2021 we will finally get back to that?
I think near the end. Well, I'm booked even in the beginning of it, but I'm going to have to do what I've been doing, which is move dates if it has to come to that, because I can't play to a house of 16 and travel and get anybody in any danger. And then I do think, I know it's going to happen. I was part of that Dave Chappelle summer camp, which was so amazing to be part of it, and it was 400 people, and Live Nation made it happen, and Dave made it happen, and it was so incredible. It's 400 people with masks on, socially distanced, and it's a little hard to hear some of the laughs in a cornfield in Ohio, but I loved it. I got to be with Dave and different people. Chris Tucker was there, and Michelle Wolf, and Darnell, and Louis C.K. was there, and so we were pushing the envelope, and Dave has people lock up their phones, so we got to say the most irreverent stuff you can imagine, and it was like, oh my God, I'm doing comedy. Oh, this feels so good, which all of us comedians that are out there to try to make people feel good and to get our minds done and have our discourse with people are going to come out of the gate when we're allowed to safely, and I know I'm going to go back and tour. I owe Canada big time because I canceled on them before they believed that quarantine was going to happen, and I had like 6 gigs planned, and they were pretty upset, but then the next day they had to shut down, so then they went, oh, we're sorry, we were upset because this is real. And it is real. It's real. So in the meantime, we try to help everybody else we can, and my benefit is going to be quite funny because I've got some of the funniest people in the world, and they're all ripping me a new one. It's going to be not pleasant. But
you don't have to pay any of these guys, do you, Bob? Because, I mean, we're talking big money guys.
No.
Jack Black, Jason Alexander, A-list. I mean, they don't want big dollars. They're all doing this just for you.
A lot of people like Jack are just speaking from their heart, so they're not out there to do a comedy bit, but they are humorous because they're lovable. But most of the other comedians are doing, it's just really well produced. It's not going to be glitchy Zoom signals. But, I'll tell you, people really put their own company's money into it. Kelly Clarkson singing, John Mayer. Many people. Jeff Ross did one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That is a tape bit that people will not forget. He does a whole kung fu bit about getting rid of scleroderma, but it's just over the top. And John Mayer is singing a song that's one of my favorite songs. And all of these people, like John Mayer, Jack Black always came to the live benefits that we've done. And when you come to a benefit and you've got people like Dave Chappelle and Jim Gaffigan everybody with Ray Romano, all these guys and ladies are working together, you really have such a spirit and they all do it to help. They do it to help, and I'm lucky to have the friends that I have. It's not just showbiz bullcrap, It's people who actually care and use their platform to try to help people, and that's what I will always do, because it's a gift if you get that. If you get people to want to listen to you, and I find that on the podcast. I'm sure you find it on your radio show, because you've got a huge radio show that goes everywhere, and everybody loves Shaq. There's no one that doesn't. I saw him last time in Detroit years ago at a hotel called the Townsend, and he was sitting in the lobby, and I walked over to him, and he went, "Oh, hey, Bob," and I shook his hand, and when I shook his hand, my hand literally disappeared. I didn't know where it went. I had never seen a hand that large. It was. I was like, "Please hold me, just hold me."
Yeah, I have a picture on the back porch. I had my shoe on, and his had his slipper on the back porch, and I was able to put my entire shoe, high top, I believe I was wearing, all the way inside of his slipper with still plenty of room with my own shoe inside of his shoe. 22s, man. You got to imagine.
It is unbelievable.
Very big.
That is very large. Luckily, if I was that fortunate to be that big a man, I would be able. My doorways are pretty tall in my house, so I'm kind of sad if I wake up one morning as an amazing superstar basketball player. If I just wake up, that's a good fantasy film. It's like Mike, but you actually become him.
You're pretty tall yourself. How tall are you, Saget?
I'm 6'4", and I'm about 2 feet on my back, but I'm 6'4" tall.
Maybe you and Shaq could do like a one-on-one kind of raise money for scleroderma or something like that at some point to see who could win in a free throw competition. That would be fun.
I would be honored. We all know he's one of the kindest people in the world, with a giant heart and a lot of truth behind him. So I can't say enough good things about Shaq. You're at a wonderful place where you get to be part of that network. It's really cool, and I know it's reaching out to a lot of people. And I haven't done any jokes about my groinal area, which I think is a huge achievement. But I will be doing them on the benefit Sunday night because it's live. They can't stop me.
We'll be tuned in, Bob. Thanks for your time, and we'll catch up with you soon. Go Lakers.
Thank you, Gentry. Yeah, right? Pretty damn great. Have a good one, Gentry. Thanks so much.
Peace out.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.